Added dimension is the millennial dimension. How many of you have started worrying about the millennials? You know who are the millennials? Okay, take it for a rough understanding, all those who are born in 2000, a little before 2000. Any ideas what is this dynamic, what is this dimension about millennials? I'm sure some of you have to deal with millennials. Yes, madam. These youngsters, seemingly slightly different. What is it that is unique about them?
Teenagers.
Sorry?
Teenage.
Teenage, definitely. But is it just teenage?
Technology oriented.
They are highly innovation oriented. They're always looking for innovation. Anything else?
They are becoming net science.
They are becoming?
Net science.
That's one part. But at a
they're more confused.
nature level, sorry?
They're more confused.
Enduring.
Well, that's a very relative term. Either they are confused or we are confused about them. We are trying to assess them by our value standards.
I think it's basically technically more evolved.
They are definitely much more evolved. They are asking for individual attention. In this news, you know what they are saying? They are saying they're technically savvy. They are saying, no, we don't want virtual classrooms. 70% of them want classrooms like this. They are realizing the value of human touch. However, unlike the students of today, good morning sir, good morning ma'am, because you are my teacher, they don't come with much of an authority issue. If you can level up with me, I am going to relate to you. If you cannot, I am not going to level up.
Advancement.
Sorry?
Advancement. They need advance.
They are more involved.
More.
Yeah.
Enduring.
Sorry?
Enduring the self.
Yeah, so now the question is, a time is coming when these people are going to coexist along with other generations, number one. Number two, I'm sure all of you are aware how the global boundaries are getting diffused and we are getting students as well as universities from all over. So you have a beautiful hodgepodge of culture within the classroom, generational as well as cross-boundary culture. Now that's another thing you need to deal with. Now look at this. On the one hand, people are saying there are no jobs. Then there are 70% youth refuse jobs offered at employment camps. And can anyone guess why?
All jobs are menial or not so
Exciting.
exciting.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So there is a tendency that they build up a lot of aspirations when they undergo postgraduate level or any certificate course. When that aspiration doesn't meet at the campus,
Brilliant.
they build up very high hopes.
Brilliant. Absolutely
Because
brilliant.
I was a placement officer,
Absolutely brilliant. People are learning to live their dreams.
without realizing their true potentiality, they build up aspirations and end up with what we can say sadness.
Can I add another side of it?
Maybe, sir.
You're so right. And people from our side, as in the industry side, have no clue of their aspirational nature of building a career. So we are giving them the brass tacks. Aptitude, attitude test, English test, numerical ability test. Over.
This is one aspect, sir.
So there are two sides of
Yes.
it.
There is lapses from the institution and curriculum side also. We don't produce.
I have to read
That
it.
is what I am coming to the same
I
first point.
understand and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate your being so owning up. The rest of it is all about that. So I thought I will not bring that up right up front. But I will also talk about from the industry side, maybe we are not sensitized enough to the students' aspirational nature of building a career. Which is again something to do with the generation somewhere. So let's be tuned to all this and reflect a while. Maybe you cued me in to some questions. As horticulturists, as gardeners, as heads of institutions, what are we expected to deliver and be measured on? Have you ever thought about it? It's good to say that it's a noble profession and all that, but to the society, we have an obligation to deliver something and be measured. I don't want answers, I just want answers. In the first place, are we tuned to be accountable for delivery? You may take notes. I shared a little bit about what is emerging. How are we prepared for what we are emerging? My learning friend over there, my gentleman out there, he said such courses are not available which can support the student's aspiration. That is one part of preparedness. But the industry is also looking at other kinds of preparedness. What are those, and am I prepared? Am I in the first place thinking of being prepared? You may take notes. Why do we find it difficult to leverage opportunities? Now, Rajesh, I don't remember. I'm sure you would have talked about statisticians, right? And we all know the booming opportunity of analytics everywhere. Everything is about analytics today. So tomorrow you might need to do horticulture analytics, for which Shravan is going to help you. Now, am I prepared to ground up, build students to address that as an opportunity for yourself? And there's so many more opportunities that are emerging. I'm not talking of just functional opportunities. Am I groomed to build entrepreneurs? Am I ready to build entrepreneurs? We talked about 70% didn't want to take jobs. Where did they go? On the one hand, you don't find people employed. On the other hand, every day you get to see how startups are getting funded. Am I ready to get more Indian startups off ground? Who are the students that we are or we will be dealing with? This is what I talked about about the milling. I'm a little concerned because it is so difficult to assess what happens. Let's say a classroom of 60, you have 20 different types of nationality, 20 different types of generation, 20 different types of no, you can't have 20 different types of generation. But definitely 3 different types of genders. So diversity is catching up like mad. Are we geared up? Are we ready? I remember I was called by this college called IASMS in Hindu some time back. I had a difficulty because I could make out there were students from different diverse nationalities. I could see the Far East nationalities. I could see people from Middle East. I could see people from Africa. And of course there were people from Europe. Which means different culture, different value. So I think this slide is more to awaken you to certain realities and help you to start reflecting that maybe what we are here for is a little different from what we think we are here for. Because that's where the job of horticulturing starts. When I was preparing for my ISC, in school certificate examination, my dad never used to get into all this jaga. It's my mom and 2 sisters, very elders. It became their debate. Should he go for engineering? Should he go for medicine? And my mom pitched in chartered accountancy. And there was this guy, a rebel, who said, I won't even sit through a single competitive examination. I didn't spell it out, by the way. And so it was. Not because of any reason. I was a brilliant student all through. Not that I was studious. I hated studying, but I was always between 1 and 3. From class 3 to class 9, here's a case study I'm sharing. You need to bear with me. And there can't be anything more authentic than this case study. It's not read anywhere. Class 3 to class 9, I always stood first in elocution. At the age of 12, I was bitten by the bug of classical music, which my mom, coming from a Bengali Hindu middle class family, believed was a big, big evil. It will take me away from my dedication in studies and therefore my career would be doomed. But nobody ever thought, what was I destined to be? I'm not blaming them. That's how the fabric is. The fabric that you are caught in, the fabric that parents are caught in. Can we look at them as one herd of people? They all look alike. They're expected to behave alike. They're expected to gun for aspirations which are alike. But the fact of life is, if there is one thing common between all of us, what is that? Sorry? Sorry? Not getting it. If there is one thing common between all of us, can somebody take the microphone, because people from the back, if they want to speak, they won't be heard. If there is one thing common in all of us, what is that? Yeah?
Need.
Need. Okay? But there are different needs, right? But something which I can vouch for is there in me, in you, in you, in you, in you, in you, in everyone. What is that? And madam, you did talk about it. That's a clue. We are all unique. What is common is that we are all unique. But don't we somewhere down the line forget that?